Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Matt Ramage from eMarketed. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Andy?
Doing great. Great to have you here.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Tell me a little bit about eMarketed.
So eMarketed is, we've been in business since '98, so a long time in the internet world. We do omni-channel marketing for all types of businesses, and some of those marketing practices entail SEO. We do paid ads management for search and social, and we do web development as well.
That's great. And that's a whole sphere of digital marketing solutions for your clients. Tell me a little bit about who are some of your clients, who's your ideal customer profile, who are the kinds of companies that you can move the needle for?
So all types of clients. One area that we've been in for, most of our existence is the mental health industry. So we work with a lot of rehabs. They're working on growing their admits, so that's one area that we're really strong in, and then also direct to consumer. So we work with a number of e-commerce brands that are looking to grow their revenue online as well. So those are kind of two areas that we definitely specialize in.
That's great. And in looking at the media channels that you place ads for your clients, what are some of the better performing channels? Like, does Facebook perform better than Google, or does it depend on the client? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, good question. So it depends on the client, of course. In the rehab sector, we've found that based on search intents, somebody looking for a rehab for themselves or a loved one, like they're going to Google and doing a search. So definitely Google performs better. We've tested over the years social, the intent's just not there. People are on Instagram or Facebook, they're browsing, they're not looking to find help for a loved one. So although it does, sometimes we do remarket on those platforms as well. So if they've seen a search ad and they've been searching, then that'd be a good time to show them ads. But for our direct to consumer, brands that we work for, Google Shopping is definitely a huge channel and performs really well. Those that can tend to perform better than Instagram and Facebook, but we do those as well because a lot of our people looking to buy, and sometimes it's multi-touch too. So if somebody's browsing and then they're on Instagram and then they're gonna see the brands wherever they go. So I guess back to your original question, it depends on the company.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So when a company you start to work with, tell me a little bit about the challenge that they have before they start working with you and how you help them solve that challenge.
Yeah. So, one of the challenges is just kind of keeping up to date with all the different platforms. So, a lot of times the companies we work with will not have somebody in-house that is, up to date on all those different platforms. So they're not, AdWords, certified, and they're not, they're just kind of, maybe they do various different things at the company. Maybe it's the IT person who's just kind of been, okay, you do these ads, So that's kind of one area that we come in, and our team is, this is all we've done for the last 20 plus years. So a lot of these platforms we've been working on since their inception. So we continue to kind of stay up to date on all the latest changes, and we take classes and go to conferences and just kind of learn the best practices. That's one area. I guess another area that companies struggle with is just kind of the reporting. So if they're advertising on Google and Facebook and Instagram, and and they're going to look at Google Analytics, and they're going to have just kind of a all their data in different places, and then they're going to look at, maybe if they're selling online, they're going to look at their stats on Shopify, and anyway, so we kind of help bring all the data together, and we use Data Studio, which is a Google product, and customize reports and dashboards, so we can really kind of present to the VPs or the owners of the company, like, this is this is where your ad spend's going, and here's the ROI. And so that's something that our clients really enjoy, and yeah, are kind of lost in that area as well.
Yeah, Data Studio is really powerful. That's very cool that you guys use that. Tell me a little bit about the setup process, right? So if you have a client who's coming to you, they need to grow, they have this aspiration to grow, but maybe they don't have their tags properly set up, for example, or might not have Google Tag Manager or what have you.
Yep.
Getting Data Studio set up is pretty much in the deep end. Talk to me a little bit about that journey from we want to get started with you to then going into an implementation phase.
Yeah. So, the first month is typically, that's kind of all about the setup and getting everything kind of connected and getting access. So some companies we work with, logins are lost, or, marketing department has this. And so it's all about kind of getting those all set up and setting up conversions on the website. So a lot of, companies we work with aren't even tracking the conversions, or they're not tracking them properly. So yeah, it's all about, the first month, but we do, we hit the ground running. So we're, if they've, if we're taking over for somebody else that has ads, or if they're running ads themselves, we're not just going to turn everything off. We'll, we might run a smaller campaign in the beginning. But yeah, that first month is kind of just all about, checking the website, checking the code, making sure the pixel for Facebook and is properly firing, and yeah, just making sure all the conversions are being tracked properly. So yeah, it's a whole, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but as you know, it's pretty complex. And but yeah, that's something, because yeah, if you're spending thousands of dollars and things aren't firing properly, and you're not going to be able to attribute, your sales to your actual, ads, then, you're not going to be able to move forward knowing what to do properly. So
yeah. And do you set up call tracking as well for your clients?
Yeah, we do mainly with in the mental health space. So for rehabs we work with, we're using, we'll work with whatever they have. The one that we use, we prefer to use is CallRail. So, but yeah, we've worked with, I don't know, 2 or 3 of the big ones, but yeah, CallRail works really well and integrates in with, Google Ads and analytics. And so, yeah, that's the one we prefer.
Cool. Talk to me a little bit about the origin story of the business. People love to hear about origin stories and how companies had an idea and then they got to market, and then they went from 0 to 1, and then they went from 1 to 20.
Yeah.
What about that growth path for you?
So I started off in the working at Earthlink back in the 96, 97. So it's funny because I'm sure Earthlink, but some of the younger people.
I was actually one of Earthlink's first customers. I remember.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah.
Back in 1994, I remember.
Right. Sometimes I'll say Earthlink, and I'll just see, talk to 20-something or even a 30-something-year-old, and they're just like, "What? Who? Earthlink?" Anyway, so yeah, I got my start there. From Earthlink, I went to another ISP, which is no longer around. It was called Zion Communications. It was a DSL provider located in downtown Los Angeles, and yeah, kind of all along, I started just, building and marketing websites, just, moonlighted, did that on the side and in the evenings. And, yeah, and early, I guess the late 90s, part of the .com crash, the internet, the DSL company I was at, it was crazy because we were growing really fast, and then just everything collapsed, stock market collapsed, and we went under. And so yeah, from there I kind of had a few odd jobs, and one of those jobs was at a rehab company, and I was like director of marketing. So I managed all of their ads and all of their digital, their websites, and just managed everything digital for them. And yeah, from there I basically talked to that owner of that company and convinced them that I didn't need to be on premise and I could work from my house. And so that was kind of my first, I guess, jump into just doing it completely on my own. And from there, I got other rehabs, and just, a year later, opened an office down the street from my house. And yeah, here we are, 20 plus years later. And yeah, our team we're about seven of us now. So still small. We've been larger in the past, but during the pandemic, we kind of scaled back. And we're kind of a lean team and just the essentials. And, we're able to, when a company hires us, though, if we do need certain things that aren't in our wheelhouse, we can easily kind of scale up and bring people on pretty quickly. So
That's
But
great.
yeah, that's kind of how I got it started.
Very cool. And how does the company generate revenue? What's the business model?
So yeah, the business model, I mean, word of mouth referrals is kind of our biggest source of revenue right now. I mean, so clients that typically work with us, it's a monthly retainer for our marketing services, and then we also, build websites as well. So those are kind of more one-off projects. But yeah, monthly retainers is kind of our revenue model. We also do web hosting as well, so that's kind of more of a yearly recurring charge. And then for a handful of our clients too, we will kind of support their websites and provide kind of monthly website management. And because a lot of companies, even though they're hosted like at AWS or other hosting companies, they need somebody in between. It's like they can't just call those companies up and handle it. So we're kind of the in between. So more of kind of like a managed hosting service. So along with making changes to their website and marketing their websites, will be that for companies as well, kind of that managed hosting experience.
It's great. And what value is content marketing added to your company? As a content marketing company ourselves, we're always interested in hearing success stories and how content may have helped you grow the business.
Yeah. So, over the last, I would say 5 or 6 years, it's kind of been we've been really focused on our customers. So it really hasn't been that important for us. But in the past, we were kind of focused on that. I would say 10, 15 years ago, we were just, pumping out videos and blogs, and it was very important to our business, and definitely brought in some big clients because they saw our various content pieces. We worked with this big, famous exercise company and worked with them for a number of years, and they came across us because of our YouTube videos. So yeah, it's definitely important. And today we're starting to kind of put out our blogs again, and we also have a podcast as well. So we're kind of starting to gear up for putting out content again. So we do a podcast called Shoponomics, and we have guests on as well, like you, and then we also do kind of website reviews. So we'll pull up a website and go through it and talk about what we like and don't like, and then we'll go through their tech and marketing stack, and we'll go through the search results and kind of see how they're ranking and provide some insight there.
Very cool. It's like a teardown kind of an approach. I like that.
Yeah.
Really get into the nuts and bolts of what's driving the growth.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it all e-commerce driven, kind of focus, or is it other verticals?
For the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's e-commerce focused. I was kind of thinking of a pivot to just selling online in general, because that would really encompass, almost everybody, right? But yeah, so far it's been e-commerce focused.
That's great. Very cool.
Yeah.
And when you work with your clients, are you helping them build out their CRM and workflows around how to follow up on leads that you're generating for them?
We're not. I mean, so one of our, kind of longest standing clients, we do a little bit of that, like with MailChimp and stuff. But yeah, no, that's something we're not. We're not working on that. I mean, I do see the value in that, but it's just like kind of one more thing that we,
You're already full, right? That's got a full plate already.
Yeah.
I understand.
But I do see the value in it. And I know that some companies that kind of integrate the marketing more into the CRM. And I think for a lot of our clients, the idea of teaching them kind of one more, software, and I think it'd be overwhelming to them.
Right.
So, not to say that they don't use CRM. Some of them do, of course, but it's just, it's a lot for, small business owner.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess my last question is, if you forecast out a year from now, what would something be that you would like to be celebrating, either professionally or personally?
Yeah, good question. So, I think one of the things that we're doing, and which I really look up to you and your company, as far as you've created a product that you're selling, and so that's kind of something that I'm working on as well, and some product that we can sell with various packages. And so a lot of time, like right now, our offering is kind of we customize it and for each business, which I think is good, and there's a lot of value in that. But I would like to maybe in addition to that also have here's a product offering that we can offer small businesses that, here's package A, B, and C, and, and really just kind of focusing on those, because it's hard to scale when you've got various packets and you're just kind of creating them as you go. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of where, in a year from now, if we were had some packages that we're selling and marketing those packages, I think I'd be really happy.
Wonderful. Sounds great, Matt. Well, thank you so much. Been a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, great talking to you, Andy. Yeah, we'll have to, have you on our podcast.
We'd love that. Let's do it.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, Matt Ramage from eMarketed. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Bye.